And we take you live now to Canberra. We're about to hear from the Shadow Treasurer Jim Chalmers, who's releasing Labor's costings.
Fair enough. Okay, let us know when you're good. What's that? Fins rolling. Okay. The choice at this election is clear: a better future or more of the same. A more responsible budget, stronger economy and a better future under Labor, or 3 more years of the same rorts and waste and economic mismanagement under Scott Morrison. Now, whoever wins the election on Saturday will inherit high and rising inflation, with interest rates rising as well, the worst real wages cut in more than 20 years, and $1 trillion in debt with almost nothing to show for it. This is the mess that the Liberals have made of the budget and the economy. Even as the unemployment rates come down, Australians are still falling further and further behind. This is what happens when you have a government whose economic plan is to cut wages and undermine job security, whose budget strategy is to create all of these slush funds and spray around tens of billions of dollars in taxpayer money, and whose savings plan amounts to sacking people in the public service. It's not good economic management if ordinary Australians can't get ahead, and that's what we're seeing. Australians are unable to get ahead. Now, these would be the trickiest economic conditions inherited by an incoming government since the Second World War. And our economic plan and our budget strategy is carefully calibrated for these challenges that we would inherit if we are successful on Saturday. Now, Labor's priorities are to grow the economy without adding to inflation, to get real wages moving again, and to ease the pressure that too many Australians are feeling during this full-blown cost of living crisis. Now, our costings that we released today, our economic plan, our budget strategy, is all about responsible, quality investments in a stronger economy and a better future. After a decade of the Coalition's failings, the economy is crying out for these responsible investments to grow the economy the right way, to get productivity moving again and to get real wages growing again. Now, our investments are a fraction of what the Liberals and Nationals have rorted and wasted. Our investments are a fraction of what the Liberals and Nationals added at the last budget and at the last mid-year update as well. The modest $7.4 billion difference between the two budgets is made up of key investments in childcare, investments in training and education, and investments in cleaner and cheaper energy. Now, our investments will generate an economic dividend. Every dollar of difference between us and the government is carefully calibrated to deliver a bigger economic return, to deal with these challenges that we would inherit. We would be inheriting $1 trillion of debt, but we wouldn't be inheriting an economic plan from this government. And the difference between our budget and the government's budget is $7.4 billion of investments in key economy-growing areas like childcare and training and cleaner and cheaper energy as well. We are also being far more responsible than the government. We are releasing today $11.5 billion in budget improvements, including 13 savings measures. We will end the Liberal rorts and waste and mismanagement, and that we will invest in the future of this economy and this country so that we actually have something to show for a budget which is heaving with Liberal and National debt. Now, this will be the important work of whoever wins the election on Saturday. There is a budget repair task ahead of whoever wins the election. The first step is to make sure that we've got quality investments in the budget, that we end the rorts and the waste and the mismanagement. This costings plan that we are releasing today begins that important work, but that work will never end.